LetTheSparksFly22 here, and I have an OU battle that was part of a tournament I hosted. Exactly 1 month ago I hosted it, and this was a first round battle against a guy named Marcus, and so yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to lead with my Gengar, since I don't have my Jolteon, and Gengar did replace Jolteon, and I was hoping maybe that Gengar might be able to do something to this Politoed. I believe I used Substitute the first turn. I might have Shadow Balled. I don't remember, but this is a Scarf Politoed and took me out, and Scarf Politoed is definitely the best Politoed set in my opinion, and it's never expected, so it's definitely great. But anyway, I go to my Melodic now to force him to switch, and I go for a Confuse Ray right away. I was expecting a Ferrothorn to come in, and he did bring it in. I know Ferrothorns really like to come in on this Melodic, and, you know, just because he pulled it in like so early, I was kind of expecting it to be a Stealth Rock set, so I go out to my Torkoal. That way I can get Torkoal in safely before the entry hazards come up, and he does go for the Stealth Rock, so I was able to avoid that 25% health damage. And right away I'm going to go for a Yawn, and he's going to bring in his Sam B, which is his Gastrodon, and I think that's a really epic nickname, reference to Dead Island, which is a really fun game as well. But anyway, I'm expecting him to switch out now, but he goes for a Toxic, and that's fine with me. I was when he stayed in, it really kind of scared me, because, you know, Earth Power will one-hit KO, but yeah, and he instead went for the Toxic, and that's going to allow me to safely get up my Stealth Rock this turn now that he's asleep. So that was really good for me. I mean, it definitely scared me that he stayed in, but it lets me Rapid Spin, get something to sleep, and Stealth Rock, which is all you can ask for with Torkoal, and it is really something great to have. So, I mean, he did get Toxic, but that's really not a big deal at all. So I'm going to switch on out now, and I'm going to go to my Melodic. I'm not sure why I did that. I think I was just going to go in and confuse it or something. I definitely probably... Oh, I remember what it was. I think I was going to... Or no, definitely not. I guess I was just going for a Confuse Ray or something. I don't know. Because that's all Melodic really can do to Gastrodon. But yeah, so I did go for a Confuse Ray, and he brings in his Ferrothorn, which was pretty expected, I guess. And that means I'm going to be forced to go right back on out to Torkoal, despite being Toxic at the moment. So I guess I'm going to have to force him to switch now. I know I can't Yawn, so there's not a whole lot I actually can do. But, you know, with the Leech Seed on, and I don't want to Rapid Spin for Iron Barbs and stuff just to get rid of Leech Seed. He doesn't even have Stealth Rock up. So, I mean, with Poison, Iron Barbs, it's just not worth the damage to me. So I'm going to switch on out. I was expecting him to Power Whip or something. And I'm going to go to my Umbreon, and he's going to stay right on in and use Stealth Rock now, which was a good play. So he's going to withdraw now and go to his Slippy, which is his Politoed, and I'm going to Heal Bell. And the fact that he brought in Politoed on an Umbreon was very, very weird to me. I was expecting... I don't know if this thing can get Trick or not, this Politoed. I don't really know if it can get Trick. But I was expecting like a Hypnosis or something, despite it being Choice Scarfed, which he did later say that it was Hypnosis. And so I protect and see that he's going to use a Focus Blast, so I go on out to Melodic, which I definitely should have done. At the time, I did not know that Focus Blast actually does less damage than a Rain Stab Boosted Hydro Pump. So if you didn't know that, there you go. Politoed will do more damage with his Hydro Pump if it's neutral than a super effective any other coverage move he has. So just so you guys know that. But yeah, he's going to switch out to his Ferrothorn now, and I'm going to Confuse Ray again, because that's what I do with this Melodic. I love it so much. I love the Confuse Ray. It's fantastic. But yeah, so I want to get a Wish off to my Torkoal, since he's at like about 3/4, I think just above 3/4. And if I go in, he's going to be taking Stealth Rock, so that'll put him like just over half health, which is not a good area for Torkoal, not a good area to sit at all. So I'm going to want to Wish Pass to him to be able to bring him back up to full health, basically. And so I'm going to Wish, and I believe he goes for Leech Seed now, which is fine by me. Yeah, he goes for Leech Seed. No problem with that. I mean, it's going to take away barely any of my health, give him just a little bit left. I mean, in my eyes, he's at full health right now anyway. So, yeah. Um, Not a problem that he Leech Seed at all. That's actually what I wanted him to do because that meant he stayed in and allowed me to go to Torkoal this turn. So, yeah, he's going to withdraw this turn, seeing that I'm going to be bringing that in. And this thing, I'm expecting a Smash Pass, since that's all these things do nowadays. And I'm looking, and I'm like, you know what? Skarmory, I don't think I'm going to need Skarmory. I actually hardly ever use Skarmory, which is kind of weird, because I have him on most of my teams, just because he's really good, you know, just in case a dragon, like Dragonite or something, catches me off guard. But, yeah, I guess he's my least valued member on the team, and he's, like, one of 2 OU Pokemon I have. 3, I have Gengar, but Gengar's gone. But yeah, so now I'm going to go to Milotic, expecting the Smash Pass, and he does go for the Shell Smash. So that was a good prediction on my part, and I'm not sure if he wants to Baton Pass now and stay in on Milotic, or if he wants to go for a sub, expecting like a Confuse Ray or something. So I was really, really tempted to go for a Scald right now, and the Scald would take out a sub if he did go for it, but I decided to play it safe and go for a Haze, and that sub really, really is not good because now if he goes to Toxicroak, which has, like, I hope he really doesn't go to Toxicroak, that means my Milotic can't do anything. That means he's going to have a turn to set up a Swords Dance or a Bulk Up, which I didn't know which it would be at the time, obviously, and I don't want either of those happening. Skarmory could obviously Whirlwind or Brave Bird with the super effective, but Skarmory is asleep, which kind of makes me sad I put him to sleep because that's one of the few times I'd use Skarmory. And he goes for, I was like kind of waiting to see what he want to do, Bulk Up or Swords Dance. And so I recover, and I see he does want to go for the Swords Dance, which is even scarier. Means he's going to be doing more damage. So he goes for the Cross Chop right away, not super effective, Stab, boosted, and I'm going to Haze this turn because I know I'll live one of them, and it does a little bit more than I expected, but that's nice because now he's not going to go for another Swords Dance. He's going to go for a Cross Chop again because that's just how people think. Take out the Milotic while they can. That means I'm going to be able to get in on Torkoal without having to worry about having a Swords Dance thrown up in my face, which is nice. I'd much rather take a Cross Chop than a Swords Dance. So he goes for the Cross Chop and misses, which is even better. I don't think, I mean, obviously it would have done a little bit more damage, but it's not that big of a deal in the long run. So I'm going to Lava Plume, take advantage of the dry skin. Despite rain being up, it's going to be enough to break his sub because he has dry skin, or maybe even without dry skin, I might have, who knows. Because it is only 25%, but I don't really know well enough to accurately assume that it would have broken the sub without dry skin, but I know with dry skin it did. So now I know he's going to switch out, and he's not going to stay in now that his sub is gone, so that means I'm going to be able to Rapid Spin. And I am able to Rapid Spin as he brings in his Politoed, and he's going to probably go for a Hydro Pump or something on this Torkoal as I go to whatever I want. And he does go for the Hydro Pump, but I avoid it the first turn. That was nice. Not that big of a deal, I don't think, since I could have just protected the next turn and then taken another and wished. Basically to just do this process. And of course the first turn I wish, and I think he's already used like 3 Hydro Pumps now. I know he KO'd Gengar with one. I believe he just missed one. He used one there. He's going to use one here, so that's like 4 at least that he's used. I don't know if there's another one in there that I missed or not, but I'm going to be able to, this is 5 I think, if I'm counting correctly. But that means I'm pretty much going to be able to PP stall this, Hydro Pump out, and then this Politoed will be basically useless for him. So yeah, that's my plan, and it's working really well. I know I can take a Hydro Pump hit from here and still live the Hydro Pump. Like, I can live a Hydro Pump and then get the Wish back. So I go for Heal Bell to wake up Skarmory as he switches out to his Gastrodon. And I kind of want this thing to wake up on me I'm not really worried about taking it out, because if he wakes up, he's probably going to go for a Toxic. That's the only thing he can do to me. But obviously, Synchronize is going to throw it back in his face, and I'm going to be able to Heal Bell it off. So I'm not worried about this guy waking up. In fact, I want him to wake up, because once he wakes up, like I said, possibly he might Toxic. Some people don't know Umbreon has Synchronize. If he does know it has Synchronize, well, that just means that I'm going to be able to maybe switch it in and get it Synchronized later. And it also means that Torkoal is going to be able to force more things out with his Yawn, which kind of crippled me there for a few turns that Torkoal was in, that I was not able to force switch with Yawn, because normally people do switch out right away, but he's being pretty reckless with his moves and decided to stay in with him on my Torkoal. But yeah, anyway, I'm just going to keep going for the paybacks, and he's going to just get his lefties. From here, it's a 2-hit KO, but I believe he wakes up this turn, and he does, so he's going to go for the recover, which was to be expected. I can't really expect anything less than that. I think, honestly, if I still had my Gengar, though, I probably would have just switched out and KO'd it with, like, a Focus Blast, but like I said, I don't have it. So I'm just going to keep going for the payback, expecting him to Toxic this turn, which would be amazing if he did, and he doesn't. He goes for the Earth Power. So I don't know why he did that. It's not going to do anything at all. But I guess he just knew he couldn't Toxic. So yeah, I'm just going to keep going for the payback. And he's going to be forced to recover now. And he doesn't... I don't know. I just don't know what purpose he saw in staying in on this Umbreon. But he did. So, I mean, it's not... nothing's going on. Nothing's happening. Maybe it's trying to PP stall paybacks, like that's a big deal or something. But I go for a Wish this turn, and I'm gonna go out to Milotic. Well, I'm thinking now I probably should have gone out to Milotic, and then I could Beta Toxic and switch back to Umbreon. But I don't. I instead stay in and just go for a payback again, and he goes out to his Ferrothorn. So of course, if I had switched to Milotic, my plan wouldn't have worked anyway. I probably would have got off a Confuse Ray though, but no big deal that I got hurt by Iron Barbs. I mean, since he switched out, it doesn't really make a difference if I was switching to Milotic or staying in. I'm going to be able to get my health back, and I'm going to Wish again, since I know with base 110 defense, this Ferrothorn isn't going to be able to do anything if he wants to attack, and if he wants to set up Stealth Rock, that's fine. I'm going to be able to Wish Pass to my Milotic anyway, and I'm expecting him to Leech Seed, which he does, and that means my Milotic is going to be able to get good health again and be back in the game. I was kind of scared that Milotic was that low. I didn't really like that at all. I do focus, I do use Milotic a lot. Like, Milotic is a very crucial part of my team as a mixed wall. So I'm glad that I can now switch him in on things again, but I don't want to take a Power Whip and risk all that, so I go right out to Torkoal. Despite Stealth Rock being up, and I know he's going to take some of that, I know I can take a Power Whip well and Force Switch with Yawn now that Gastrodon is awake. So that's what I do plan on doing. I'm going to try and force him out with Yawn. He switches anyway and goes to his Politoed, and oh no, actually I just straight up go for a Rapid Spin right away, which was a nice move. But because I knew if he did switch in something like Politoed, he'd be reckless enough to let it fall asleep, especially since his Politoed only has like 3 Hydro Pumps now. But anyway, he's going to go for Ice Beams now. He doesn't want to run out of Hydro Pumps and be forced to use Struggle, and my Milotic is going to take that like a champ. And I know whatever he switches in, basically, Milotic is going to be able to recover health off of. So I straight up go for the Confuse Ray here. And I'm expecting him to Toxic now. So I want to get the Synchronize off. So I do go to Umbreon this play. I really want this thing Toxic. It makes it so much easier to deal with. So yeah, I do go to Umbreon. And he is going to switch right on out. I guess the Confuse Ray may be forced to switch, or maybe he was trying to bait out my Umbreon so he could get off another Shell Smash. Either way, I wasn't sure if he wanted to Spore or if he just wanted to go right out for the Shell Smash right away this turn. Since last time he did go for the Spore. So if I had gone to something like Skarmory this turn, he would be able to uh, Show Smash and then Spore that and still have a Show Smash and then, Baton Pass out as I switch to Melodic or something. So I was really scared he might Spore my Metagross now, and that was definitely a fear. So instead, I just go for a Meteor Mash, hoping he doesn't, and he does Baton Pass. So that definitely saved me a lot, and I'm going to be able to take out his Politoed. So now that his Politoed's gone, he's going to be bringing in his Toxicroak, which I'm not really scared of all that much. I'm sure it's going to use a Swords Dance, and it does. So I go for my Agility so I can outspeed, and I know I can one-hit KO most Toxicroak sets with Meteor Mash if they don't have +1 defense from a bulk up or something. So yeah, I'm expecting a Sucker Punch. I mean, that was pretty given. It did a little bit more than I thought it would, but it's not a big deal at all. So I'm going to go for the Meteor Mash and just take that out. Not a problem at all. And so now he's going to bring in Dragonite, hoping he can maybe get off a last second Dragon Dance to maybe finish my team off and possibly pull through with a win. This is his Hail Mary, and he's going to go for it. Glad I had up Stealth Rock because that means his multi-scale is broken, and that means my Ice Punch will one-hit KO. And so that means all he has left on his team now is Ferrothorn, which is not going to be able to touch my Torkoal at all. I'm going to be able to Wish Pass to my Torkoal all day and keep its health up and Lava Plume. So he sends in Ferrothorn, and he knows that and just forfeits because he knows it's good game. So yeah, good game, Marcus. Fun battle. If you enjoyed it, please comment, like, and subscribe. See you all later. Goodbye.